My biggest win is getting my happiness back, feeling more like myself.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Truth Talks, the podcast that brings you real strategies for sustainable fitness transformation. I'm Courtney, but I am not joined by Paris today. I'm actually joined with a very special guest, Em. Em, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So for those of you who don't know Em is not just an avid listener of this podcast, which we're very grateful for, but Em is actually one of our amazing Team Truth members who's been on her fitness journey for a while and then joined us in the fall, right? It was October, I think, when we started
Yeah, around
kicking things
October.
off. Yeah, amazing. So today we're going to learn a little bit about Em's journey. It's been like a long one, and she has like so much experience before she joined the team. And then we kind of made some changes together to continue on her journey, write this next chapter together. And we're actually eyeing now a show date, right, which is going to be exciting. So we're going to kind of take you guys through it all. But I want to hear from Em first and foremost about like your journey and how it began before we started working together. Like, what did your journey entail? How did you first get into fitness?
So I was always a fit person, and then I wasn't.
What caused the
uh,
wasn't?
I actually ended up getting depression, and I went on antidepressants, and I actually ended up gaining a lot of weight through that. Um, And then weight started kind of just continued and continued. And I went to the doctors for kind of some help, like guidance, and they just told me I was obese.
Whoa,
So I was like,
just that.
that didn't, just that,
Okay, that's
just
intense
that.
language to
So
hear.
that didn't help with anything
Yeah.
because I was always like, a fit person. So like when I heard obese, it was like, oh, I didn't realize I was that big, right?
Yeah.
And then I had a pregnancy with it was my third son at the time, but we had to go through the fertility clinic, so that didn't help with like depression.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually he was born, and we were scared to go through the fertility clinic again. So we got pregnant when he was only 6 months old.
Wow.
So then that put a toll on my body.
Yep. Because at this
So
point, this is you have 4 kids, right?
that's
So this is
four.
after your
Yeah.
fourth. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I had an emergency C-section with her, and I had 3 vaginal births and 1 C-section, and the C-section is the hardest for your body. To lose weight and etc., it is the hardest.
Yeah.
So then I started gaining more weight, and then COVID hit, and I was stuck at home with 2 babies that were 16 months apart with
Oh
my
my
other
God.
2 kids who were 6 and 12 at the time, or
Yeah.
10, 6 and 10. And then one day I was going to my basement, and I went up the stairs, fine. I went down back again because I forgot something, and nearly like died on the way back for the second time. And I was
Like
like,
back up the stairs.
yeah, back up the stairs. And I was like, that's when I realized my health was like done. Like
Yeah.
I needed change at that point. And that was in 2022. Brody's my husband. Brody and I got into shape ish. We started eating healthier, we
Yeah.
had our weekly cheat day. But you know what? At that time it helped. It helped us. Like we needed something at that time to reward us.
Yeah.
And although
And so
we do not do weekly cheat dates now, at the time it was needed.
right.
Yeah.
So what else did you guys do at that time? Like tell me a little bit more about what did getting in shape look like and feel like at that point?
So in 2022 was mainly I had a focus of, okay, I had to do at least 30 minutes outside. I needed to.
Nice.
And so I backpacked my baby. I would carry a baby. I would take my dogs. I would take my kids, and I would get out there. And it was mandatory. Like I had to do it. And then I also did my workouts, which were weights. And I did a lot of cycling too, like
Mm.
indoor cycling, outdoor cycling. I would do like the Chio races, but at the time it was all virtual. So I had
Yeah.
to just go
Right.
around the block and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so we really focused on just, better habits. And Brody said, if I wanted to lose more weight, I really needed to monitor what I was eating, like weigh it and stuff. And I was like, I'm not there yet. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, you're like one step at a
So,
time.
yeah. So probably, I don't know, maybe a year or two, I started doing that. I had a previous coach, January of 2025 till about September of 2025, but ended things. Sometimes you need a new coach and sometimes it just doesn't work out, like a family doctor, like a dentist or anything. You don't need to be stuck with somebody. You don't need to feel guilted into leaving that person.
Yeah.
Things happen, right?
Mhm. Mhm. If we can just explore kind of that chapter of your journey, working with a different coach, you know, what inspired you to make the change? Like what was missing from that previous experience that said, "Okay, I'm ready to move on."
Um, I believe that like a coach should be your coach. If you want to have a friendship, that's fine, but there's boundaries. There's
Mm,
boundaries between your clients and I feel like that was crossed.
okay.
And I didn't like that. I didn't like how I was being brought into drama that I wasn't involved in. I wanted also a coach that had more knowledge, education, and a female. I
Mm,
wanted a female
that's
because
fair.
it's so hard when like you're talking about your menstrual and etc. for a man to understand.
That's
It just
fair.
is. They just don't
It's not
understand.
impossible, but it's a whole other level of
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
And
So
like cravings and etc. Like you just don't understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, when you've kind of had that firsthand experience, at least you're like, "Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, when you did leave that coaching experience and kind of moved on from that chapter, you had already lost the weight, right? Like when we started working together, you had already
Yes.
lost the weight. So I remember like when you reached out, we actually met through like kind of the radical body transformation community because you participated in that show last June
Yeah.
and we're going to be doing it together again this year, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
So you had kind of, let's say, your success arc, right? Already. You were already like, okay, I've lost the weight. I'm in good shape. My habits are there, all the stuff you work towards. So what goal did you set? I want to hear from you because I kind of have it in mind, but like when we first started working together, you had a fresh goal. What was that?
Happiness.
Happiness. Yeah.
Happiness, having my mental health come first.
Hmm.
That was my main goal. And
Yeah.
that's what we worked on, and we worked on it for a while, and then when I came to you and said, let's be serious for the RBT. Let's get this
Yeah.
going."
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I think
Confidence.
that was,
Confidence also was my big one. Like it was getting out of that depression, getting out of that mental headspace, like getting out of the mental funk. And that was my main focus.
yeah. And I think I want to say we did a pretty good job of making that the focus, right? Like, I remember even when we started building, okay, what's your first training program going to be? Like, we knew we could get you in the gym, but we wanted to make you excited about being in the gym.
Yeah.
So we favored like exercises that, you enjoyed. And you've always been very upfront with me, like being like, I hate this one, right? Like, if one's not
Yeah.
working, you're like, I don't like this one. Okay. So also it was like an experience for me, like learning what are your subjective preferences, right? Like,
Yeah.
which exercises do you love hitting? But even like your relationship with food. And like we talked a lot about what foods you actually love and what foods feel fun to you and how we make those a part of the process.
Yeah.
And because I know before, like you also kind of had more of a, let's say, more of a meal plan based approach, right? In the past.
Yeah, it was more like if I ate anything besides rice and chicken and green veggies, I was basically like guilted.
Hmm.
And that really bugged me. And especially the comparison of like, how do I explain this? Like they would make me compare myself to them as if
Okay.
like our goals were the same. And
Right.
it's like it's not. Like just because you can do this and you can live this life and
Mm-hmm.
etc. doesn't mean I need to
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
should. And then often people will ask me like, "Oh, what is your diet now?" And I'll say, "Whatever I want." They're like, "Well, what does that mean?" I said, "I follow my macros and I
Mm-hmm.
eat what I want to." I
Yeah.
buy on like today. My friend and I went to Costco and I walked by like Rice Krispies. I was like, I eat those. I
Yes.
eat
we
those.
we love
I
Rice
eat
Krispies.
those.
That's a
Like,
good
and
feeling.
yeah, and then I looked at these like pickle chips that Costco has, although
Mhm.
like they were like 200 calories and stuff like that. I was like, this isn't, there's some fishy stuff happening in these pickles if they're 200 calories for
Yeah,
like
like
whatever, right? So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm tempted, but I'm not doing it. She's like, "Oh, you're not allowed to eat that?" I was like, "It's not that I am not allowed. I'm allowed. I
yeah,
can
I just
eat what
don't
I
want
want.
to.
I don't
Yeah.
want."
Yeah, so it's like this difference in your relationship with food where like now we put food at kind of like part of that happiness, but not in a way of like we never saw food as like, oh, food is our reward. Like we did a good job,
Yeah.
we get to have this food. Like that was never the conversation. It was like, how do we insert happiness into every single day by prioritizing things you love? And you talked about the pickle chips, right? Like
Yep.
eh, people might not know this about you. I know this about you. You love pickles, right?
I
Like
love
you
pickles.
love pickles. So like we've got pickles and they just
Yeah.
happen to be low calorie, normal pickles, not the chips. But
Yes.
like so there's no reason why we can't be eating pickles, right? Or like there's a few other things I think about that you loved. Like you had this kind of go-to breakfast bagel where we actually
Yeah.
with the dill pickle hummus on it, right? Like
Oh,
that one and
yeah.
that sort of thing. Or like even those who have seen on your Instagram, or sometimes I reshare them, it's like your big snack plates in the evening, right?
Yeah.
And like
And
that's
that's what I think about. It's like, yeah, I can have this pickles, but I'm only having like a little handful, or I can go home and devour my whole foods. And it's
yes,
like, yeah, I want
exactly.
that, but I want to be full.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's
Yeah.
you are now making very like your own choices about what you eat, when you eat, how much you eat. And what's really cool about that is like you're not somebody who is like, oh, I'm just because I can't eat everything, I want to eat everything. I'm just gonna have all this. Like I'm not gonna use the word I don't like the word junk, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not just gravitating to things because you can eat them or
Yeah.
because you're liberated or whatever. You actually are still very mindful about what you pick. Like, I think you have your staples in your routine. Like, lunch usually looks like this, and it's like,
Yeah.
a protein, a carb, usually like rice or potatoes, and a veggie. And your snack plates in the evening also are filled with like a lot of fruit or like a
Yeah.
few nuts in there and things like that. And you've done such a good job too of even just like, hey, you're mindful of your fiber intake. Like, you have kind of if I may say, I think you've kind of discovered the sweet spot between that feeling of I'm eating what I want and I'm enjoying the hell
Yeah.
out of it. And also I'm fueling my body with the daily intake that makes sense for my goals right now and with nutritious choices. Like you've kind of nailed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of one of the ways I think we consciously unlocked the happiness part. Is there
Mhm.
another aspect of the journey over the last few months together where you've been like, "Oh yeah, this was also one of those happiness unlocks for me?"
Like you said, like, just focusing on, like, doing my workouts, like, you changed it to, like, upper body Mondays and upper body fun day Mondays, fun day
But
Mondays.
yeah.
And
Sunday,
although
Mondays,
sometimes
yes.
yeah, fun day Mondays, although sometimes it just doesn't work in the favor, but I like that. It's like Monday fun days and, like, just getting back into, like, loving working out again.
Mhm,
I'm getting my steps back up again.
mhm.
Yep. I just looked at
Yeah,
my watch. Like, I'm going like, getting back into, like, walking well, not so much for Berlin now because it's hot and
she's a big
big
dog.
dogs, Saint Bernard, and he just on cold days or at nighttime, walk,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not when it's, like, blistering hot out in the pavement.
fair enough. Yeah, it's a lot for
Yeah.
her. So, okay, so we've kind of, like, reclaimed your sense of ownership and happiness with your journey. One of the things that you mentioned off the top is you have 4 kids and a big dog in the household, right?
Yeah.
So what feels different now about how you manage your fitness versus where you started? Because where you started, it was like, this is overwhelming, right? And you still have 4 kids. You still have home responsibilities. You and Brody also own and run a business, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you guys do have a lot going on. And, you and I, our language we often use is we refer to it as the chaos, right?
Yeah.
But how are we finding happiness in the chaos? And how has the chaos now become part of the process?
So I've kind of worked it. It's harder during, like, vacation time, like, March breaks and etcetera,
Hmm.
but I'm pretty good at it. So I tend to do, like, lunchtime to work out. And my what I have with my kids is, like, on holidays, for example, after lunch, you can play games.
Mm.
You can go outside, you could play games, you could do whatever. So they're kind of in their own little world. Games, they're
Yeah.
kind of focused. They're zoned in. Outside, they kind of come bug me more, which is fine. But I usually do video games and I get them to do that. We also do family walks. Every second Mondays is I go to the fire station for our meetings. So
Right,
we
because
tend to do
you
family
are a
walk.
volunteer. You're a volunteer firefighter, which is
Yes.
another cool thing about you. Yeah.
So we do family walks to there.
Nice.
Sometimes I don't walk back. Sometimes I get rides,
That's okay.
but
We
I
don't have
walk
to walk
there.
everywhere all the time. You're
Yes,
still getting your steps
exactly.
in, let it be known.
Yeah. So yeah, we focus on just doing it, and then sometimes I work out with Brody. If I find that my day, like if I have to go to Costco by myself, because we tend to do that on weekends now together, because
Mhm.
if I'm past the strawberries, I'm not going back for the strawberries, and Brody knows that. So Brody likes to come to Costco with me. But yeah, we have a good routine, and we like to work out after dinner together. Sometimes we like to work out when we're not together. Sometimes because some of our workouts are just we're over top of each other, and it's just
Mm.
like we always make sure which one are you working out on, et cetera, et cetera, so we don't overstep, but for the most part, it works. And if we find that the ones that kind of tumble over top of each other,
Mhm.
he'll go walk first for 10 minutes, or I'll go walk first. That way, one of us are 10 minutes ahead.
Well, that's kinda
Um,
cool. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, like, basically, yeah, if I have to go to Costco myself, it gets pushed to nighttime after dinner, but we are old and eat at like 5, so
You're
it's not super
proactive
late.
proactive
Yeah,
with your dinner,
yeah,
yeah. So it sounds like, when I think about all those things together, you guys just have some systems in place that help you manage everything the household needs, right? But what the household needs doesn't have to be mutually exclusive with what you need, right? So giving the kids the time to be, like, in their zone allows you to be in your zone, right? Working
yes,
alongside Brody to coordinate, time in the home gym or like Costco runs or like all those things you need. You guys have a really strong partnership, I think, on that front and like the
yeah,
communication and making sure that, okay, if we outline, okay, these are the things the household needs. We need to get a Costco run done. The kids need to do this today. They've got these activities. I know they're involved in like
yep,
baseball and sports and stuff too, and school, and the business needs these things. You guys are just like always communicating, okay, who's doing what solo versus independently versus together
yeah.
versus like all those things, right?
And that's a
So,
big thing for baseball is like
mm,
Brody coaches baseball, and that's at nighttime. So it's like,
right.
okay, so he needs to work out before, so I need to
Hmm.
work out in the afternoon so that we
Hmm.
can make it work. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of communication to make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And then
And
like at nighttime, it's like paperwork, even
right,
though
because
we
the
don't want
business is
to.
still going on. Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. So what would you say to people, like, anyone do you have any advice for anyone else around, like, how do you manage a household and a partnership when it comes to putting yourself first and also knowing that you're still serving the household's needs?
It's hard. It's hard, but it's doable. Brody will tell you that, like, sometimes if I'm, like, depressed, I won't do dishes. I just
Mhm.
won't, you know,
Mhm.
and he'll do them.
Mhm.
So, like, if I'm not at 100, he'll take over. If he's not at 100, I'll take over. And it's
Mhm.
all about communication, being there for each other, understanding that, like, there's different levels, especially when you're in prep.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard, but communication
Mhm.
is key.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have done a really good job, and I think having a front row seat to it is really inspiring to and for anybody to know, yes, it's hard, but it's doable, right? Which is exactly what you said. So you did talk about being in prep, right? And you guys are both preparing for the Radical Body Transformation show this year. And Brody's first time, but your second time because you did it last year. What's changed for you in terms of how you're approaching it this year versus last year?
So this year I'm just doing couples.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not signed up for any other category. So it's a new category. Like couples is new for this year. So I'm excited to be one of the first couples to go on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but I'm really excited to go on stage with him and doing
Mhm.
something together because when I was signed up last year, I was encouraging him to do it. He said
Ah.
he'd never do it. He would never wear a bikini. He would never do that. Now look
Is
at
he
him.
wearing a bikini? I'm just checking.
He has something.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited, and it's fun to have like a mutual bodybuilding like hobby together, you know, like
Mhm.
and getting fit together and healthy and etc. Sharing something and understanding. Yeah.
And I think that moment on stage, having that moment together is also a testament to like your process, right? It's not just about getting there. It's like your whole process has been you guys working together, collaborating, communicating, understanding each other's needs, for lack of a better expression, like filling the gaps between, like you said, if he's at 100 or you're at 100, picking up the slack for the other person, that sort of
Yeah.
thing, which I think is really nice. So it's a great testament to that. And so if you think about your individual goals right now, though, because you guys have couple goals, of course, but
Yeah.
going back to your individual goals, I want to hear like what has been your biggest win in the last when's October? Like what is that? 8 months ago ish? Bit less than that?
My biggest win is getting my happiness back. Because without my happiness, I'm just in a hole, just crawled
Mhm.
in a hole.
Yeah.
um, Feeling more like myself, and you can see it. My little, I call it a baby fat pack because I still have fatness there, baby fat pack.
You've had 4
Um,
kids as
oh
well.
yeah, fair. So that's what I name it. And then like my butt,
Mhm.
my butt has plumped.
Yeah,
I
we've made
really
some
like my
glute
butt.
gains for
Yes.
sure. So,
And I
yeah.
didn't realize how much of a gain truly happened until I saw the comparison of the RBT from
Mhm.
last year because I thought my butt looked spectacular. I did,
Last year.
right
Yeah.
there and then. And it was a nice butt. But, like, comparing the 2, I was like, "Oh my god." Like my butt was flat. My butt was flat.
Now your butt is
Yeah.
not flat.
No, it is not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's been pretty amazing to see how like we've always had physique goals, right? For you. Like we've always had physique goals, but we didn't start from a place of prioritizing those. We said, okay, let's prioritize your happiness and then figure out how your physique goals fit into that instead of the other way
Yeah.
around, right? And we also didn't necessarily wait for you to achieve that physique to start feeling happy. Like we felt
Mhm.
happy with the process and like the things we
Yeah.
were doing on a day-to-day basis. And then, hello, we got some glutes out of it too. Like that's literally the best of both worlds. We got a process we love and an outcome in a body that we can be proud of. Like that's absolutely phenomenal. I love that. I love that. Okay. So there is a question that we do like to ask everybody, which is one truth. What is one truth that you have learned or uncovered as part of this process of working together?
One truth, that I can eat whatever I want.
That is
I
very
can.
truthful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Because I think, like, this day and age with social media and having the wrong coach and etcetera, you're made to feel, like, guilty for eating stuff, you know? Like, you don't have to feel guilty, you can eat what you want. You can,
mhm,
and you shouldn't
mhm.
feel guilty, and you shouldn't feel bad, and you can eat what you want and still achieve your goals.
Literally the ultimate dream, like is the
Yeah.
best of both worlds. Yeah. What has I'm curious to know like what has shaking off that food guilt and eating what you want like meant to you? How has that actually affected your day-to-day life?
Good, because if I am eating something, and I'm sure you've seen it. I've put Mister Noodles in there before, and, like, things I don't normally eat, right? But
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, I'll log it." And I don't feel guilt, and I don't. And I know that you're not gonna come after me and be like, "Why did you eat that?" You know? Like,
Mhm.
you'll probably be like, "I saw you had Mister Noodles. How were they?"
Yeah,
And that's it.
you know me so well. That's exactly what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you have kind of unlocked the ability to do that because of the attentiveness that you've already given your nutrition, right? Like
Mhm.
you've already figured out, okay, this is typically when I eat during the day, how many meals I have. These are my go-to snacks. You have an understanding of like your like you just said how sometimes there's things you don't normally eat. It's not like every day is a complete like blank canvas and we're like, all right, what are we doing today? Like you do have your staples and your routines that are super productive for you so that when you do, change it up a little bit or have something different, or you're like, you know what, I'm craving this today. Let's find a place
Yeah.
for it. You already have such a solid bedrock foundation. And I think it
Yep.
makes making those other elements or those like, let's say accessory foods part of the process so much easier because yeah, like you're right, there's no guilt necessary, but also there's a lot of confidence in I already know what choices are serving me well. And this is just another one of them on that list.
Yep. And then sometimes I personally, it's not that I feel guilty, I regret it. For example, my root beer float.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't drink protein drinks because they're fine. They're fine. I have no issues with them, but they're not worth my 200 calories. They're not. But I made a root beer float. because I
Mhm.
was craving it, and I loved it for a few sips, and then I was like, "Nope, never doing this again." Lesson learned. Loved it, but, nah, not for
Yeah,
me.
because it just but it's a trial and error, right? And I think that's the great part of, like, having that flexibility with your food is, like, now you have, like, a sense of, "Okay, next time I'm craving root beer float, this wasn't that satisfying last time, this alternative
Yeah.
I had, so I'm not gonna do that. I'll try something different,"
Yeah.
right? And it's just, like, that constant experimentation that allows you to feel even better when you do, "Okay, I'm choosing this thing because I know for a fact it feels good to me or it works for
Yeah,
me," or whatever
exactly,
it
and
is,
I
right?
was just craving it, and I wanted
Yeah.
it. I was
Yeah.
craving it for a few days. I was like and usually, like, I'll try to I'll crave it, and if I'm not really wanting it after a while, fine, whatever, but if I'm truly wanting that crave, I'm like, "You know what? It's been a few days. Let's just do it."
Let's do it. Yeah,
And
exactly.
yep.
So, in all the experimentation that you have done, what are some of like, if you had to say, okay, M's, let's say top five, like your go-to foods that you've used to help find some happiness in this process, and let's just
Oh
not
god.
forget, found happiness and built your glutes, right?
Yeah.
What would they be? What are those like go-tos you've been reaching for?
My go-tos currently?
Hmm.
Okay. So I have protein chips that I really like.
Yep.
So I like the Dorito roll things,
Like
which I don't
Takis?
eat unless what are they called?
Takis?
I forget what they're called. They're like
Okay.
Doritos, but they're rolls,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they're like kind of like tacky shaped,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not. They're Doritos.
Okay.
Um, Dynamite or something like that. But
Mm.
those are like I freaking love them. I love them, love them, love them. They don't exist in Canada anymore, which
Oh,
sucks. But
I didn't even know that.
yeah, but I found at Popeyes that they have like protein chips, and they kind of hit the spot. So those are my go-to when I'm craving. Um, my also go-to is my berries. I love my
Mm.
berries.
Yeah.
Raspberries. And
Yeah.
lately I like I don't know if they're clementines or tangerines. I can't tell the difference, but the little
The
oranges.
little orange citrus fruits.
Yes, any like
Yeah.
the little ones. I like the little ones.
Mhm.
That's 3. Carrots too. Um
Mhm.
I didn't have any of my chips, and then I was like, "Okay, let's have some carrots because 'cause they're crunchy," thinking it won't satisfy me, but let's just do it, and no, it satisfied me. I was
Yeah.
happy with it.
That's good.
What else? Coke Zero. I
Mm.
like my Coke Zero.
The bubbly. Get the
Yeah,
bubblies.
I
Yeah.
only drink 1 a day, so
Yeah.
I try to have it at my snack time, but I only drink it if I've done a good job on my water intake, otherwise I don't drink them.
So
I
you've
kinda
kind of
like
actually, like, paired it, like, as in, like, okay,
yeah.
it's an incentive to also get your water in and do all those other habits
Yeah,
too,
so it's
right?
like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't drinking enough water. I'll get my water, and I won't drink the Coke tonight."
Yeah. It's a
That's
nice
that.
balance, right? You think about, like,
Yeah.
everything you just said there. Okay, I'm gonna just try to do a run through of there's a purpose behind each of those foods, right? The protein chips satisfy a craving. It's not even just about, like, let's get protein, and it's like, no, they actually just satify a craving that I have, and it's a
Yeah, it's nothing to
positive.
do with protein.
Yeah, it's just like it's a productive alternative, right? And then we also have like the berries and clementines slash tangerines, mandarins, whatever they are, that also are like an enjoyable fruit, part of your evening snack. Then you've got your Coke Zero, which is just like, something that incentivizes you to get water in throughout the day as well. And then there was one more, oh, carrots, right? Like just the crunchy texture and recognizing that, hey, that actually can be satisfying and
Yeah,
being so self aware of like, I really just want to crunch and this does the job, right? So
yeah,
I think being flexible with food for you has actually really unlocked this understanding of like what different foods do for you and what's a productive
yeah.
choice for you in different contexts, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like crunchy, like celery. I've been into celery lately too because of the
nice.
crunch. I
Yeah.
like salty foods, and all
Hmm.
salty foods tend to be crunchy, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
or like, I like my crunchy foods.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody is like want to give a leave behind for anybody who's listening. If somebody's struggling to figure out how to be more flexible with food or they're struggling to find happiness or struggling to figure out how can I eat foods I enjoy and still see success with my fitness goals, right? Because we have changed your body composition in the process and I don't want to lose sight of that. Like I don't want people thinking, "Oh, well, it has to be one or the other," because it's not. What would be your advice to them to help them start to break through and find that flexibility in a way that still helps them see their body change?
Um, my big thing is stop doing processed foods.
Mm,
Like protein bars, you can get protein and etcetera from animals. Like, we don't need the processed stuff. Whole foods, like eating healthy in the sense of whole foods. If you want to devour a huge bowl, go for it. And eventually over time, monitor what you're eating. Like the biggest thing for me was eating healthy,
Hmm.
no processed foods, and just getting a healthy habit.
Hmm.
Right. And like when I'm craving sweets, I will go for a protein bar.
Yeah.
And if I'm out and about, maybe I'll grab a Mars bar because it's not that high in calories, in all
Yeah, it's
honesty, if I
shockingly
have
not
it.
that bad. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like if I want something, I'm gonna get it. Like,
Hmm.
but the big thing is, and I tell everybody, and people are like, "Well, what are your macros? What are this? What are that?" And it's like, but what I'm at right now isn't what I used to be at. So you can't take what I'm at
Hmm.
and use it on yourself. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. You got to find your own methods. And that's exactly what
Yeah.
you've done, right? Like,
Oh, I used to also be really big into pop, like
mm,
huge, and beer and
okay.
alcohol. I don't drink
Yeah.
alcohol anymore.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I will have the occasional once in a blue moon, but I don't drink. I used to get sloshed with Brody. We don't drink anymore. Haven't
Hmm.
since December.
Wow. Good for you guys.
Um, yeah, but when we were heavy pop drinkers, we changed it to like bubblies
Mm.
and stuff like that. Like, and then we kind of changed it to just zero Coke Zeros and stuff like that. And we change it up. We'll get like, because there's zero everything now.
Yeah.
So,
We live in a day and age where we have so
yeah,
much choice.
yeah. So, yeah, we just changed it. And I used to reward myself. I used to get like, oh, if I do this for this amount of months, I'm going to
Mm.
buy myself a new Yeti water bottle. I'm going to buy myself this. I'm going to buy myself that. I don't do it anymore, but it helped motivate me. Like, could I just go and buy them? Absolutely. But there was no satisfaction of, but I achieved that. I
Hmm.
earned it, you know?
Yeah, so you set some milestones for yourself along the way,
Yes.
right? Yeah. I think what I heard you say there that I really think is important is you actually focused on creating your own definition of healthy, which was like prioritizing whole foods and just making that the baseline. But in your description of that, it was never like what's the word I'm looking for? Restrictive. You never restricted yourself to whole foods. You said, how do I make whole foods the main priority in my diet? And then from there, two things happened. One is there was always space for little top ups, right? Because you had your baselines covered, and that, whether that's the Mars bars or something else. And the second cool thing that happened is you actually fell in love with some of those foods. Like if I go
Yeah.
back to your top 5 list, right? Like we've got some fruit on there, we've got some veggies, and like you fell in love with those foods too. So having the flexibility actually created a really strong foundation instead of just opening the floodgates to I can have all these amazing like other
Yeah.
treaty type things. It was like, no, not only did the treats become more rewarding and more satisfying when you chose them, minus the root beer float, but like the Mars bar and stuff, intentional, satisfying to have those, but also you found that happiness in those quote unquote healthy whole foods too.
Yes.
Pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
And I prefer them.
You
I
prefer them. Yeah.
honestly prefer them because
Yeah.
every time if I'm out and I have to grab something, I'm like, "I'm still hungry."
Yeah, it's just it doesn't have that same satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. So is there anything else that has been really impactful on your journey that you want anyone else to know about as they're thinking about starting theirs, whether that's they're trying to find happiness, they're trying to fight through some chaos, or they're just trying to take charge?
Don't listen to other people. Find a
Mm,
coach that listens to you and don't take anybody else's advice. Like what works for someone isn't necessarily going to work for you. We all have different lives, we all have different schedules, and you need to find somebody who knows that we have lives. All right? So,
mm,
and work with it.
yeah.
Because you shouldn't be given here's a list of what to follow and you're handed it. That's it. That's all. No, it's this is what's going on in my life. How do we change things up? How do we maneuver this and etc. and making it work for you.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I'm such a big proponent of like fitness is a part of our lives. It's not the only thing in our lives, and it should enhance our lives. It can. It has so much potential to do that. But even like when we think about the theme today is like happiness, right? Your happiness is going to look very different than someone else's because there's different things that make you happy than them, right? And so even if we're thinking about putting happiness at the center, we have to think about the individual first and
Yeah.
how that definition changes over time too. Like you said, like it evolves with you and different stuff goes on. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And something like Brody and I often talk about is like the changes in our body in such a short time
Mhm.
versus our other coach,
Mm.
right? Like there's been huge difference, huge
Yeah.
positive difference.
Yeah, you
Like,
wanna talk about that quickly? You wanna say, like,
sure.
what we talked about your glutes and how you've changed your glutes in I keep forgetting what month we're in. It's May as we're recording, so this might come out a bit later,
Yeah,
but
I keep
it's
thinking it's
yeah.
either April or June.
I know, I'm like, I'm
My
either in the
goodness.
past or the future. Where am I living? Yeah,
No, I'm
so,
in the
okay,
middle.
so it's May, we started in October, we've already talked about your glute gains. How else have you actually seen your body change versus you were with your coach before for 9 months? And what
Yeah,
kinda
around
changes
that.
do you see in those first 9 months versus what have we been able to achieve in our time together?
So when I got to the RBT, looking back, mentally I felt kind of good about my body, but then afterwards I realized I'm skin and bones, like rib cage and all. Like I didn't. It was like as if like skinny was the goal, but not like fit or muscular or healthy looking. It's like all rib cage and not a good look.
Yeah, how did
um,
that make you feel to see those photos? Because you were focused on weight loss for a long time, and then you saw those
yeah.
photos, and how did that make you feel?
When I saw the photos originally, I was like, "Oh, hell yeah." Like, that's what the mindset I was at. I was like, "Okay, I look great," and etcetera. But then, like, as months went on and things like my focus changed and etcetera, I look back and I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't that healthy."
Mm,
Mentally, physically, no.
yeah,
No, I wasn't. I was depleted. Like, I was suffering, like And I and, like, as you know, like, I had, like, my ups and downs about entering the RBT this year because of
mhm,
that, and I was like, "Maybe, maybe not," and then I was like, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's freaking
yeah,
do it. Let's."
yeah, and so we think about, like, the way that your body has changed. I know we're not, like, depleted, right? But, like, I wanna hear it from in your words, how has your body changed, and how has your perception of your body now changed, going into this
Yeah.
year's show and with everything we've done the last few months?
I'm happy with my body. I have my little baby fat pack. I'm very happy with how I'm framed
Mm.
because, like, you can see a figure and you can see my glutes and my thighs need some work on, but they're chunky.
There's
But
always there's always a
we
next
always have
next
something we
chapter.
wanna work on,
Yeah.
right? But I'm really happy on my biceps,
Yeah.
and my back. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
how to flex it every time, but I had that one time where I flexed it.
we saw those lats pop out from the back too, that was amazing. Yeah.
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 I don't know how I did it. Brody keeps trying to teach me, and I'm like, "I did it one time, and I got a picture."
The muscles are there, we've got proof.
Yeah, I feel happy, and I feel healthy, and I look healthy, right? Like, and I've gotten more comments about my body than I did when I was at the RBT last year. The positive ones,
Yeah.
positive
Like,
ones.
do you feel comfortable sharing some of those comments?
Just like that, I look healthier. I'm healthy, and that I'm looking amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And just for, context for anyone listening, our body weight is about the same, right, as it was last year.
Yes, it was the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've got
I think we went back and looked at that, and they were the same weight.
mhm.
And so I was the same weight, but I looked like skin and bone. Like,
Versus now you look like you've got some shape,
yeah.
you're happy with your silhouette, we've got rounder
Yeah.
glutes, we've got biceps, we've got some back muscles, like,
Which
same
is
body
why,
weight.
like, you should never focus on your body weight. Like, honestly, like, I see people that are, taller than me and etcetera, that weigh more or whatever, and it's like, or less, and it's like, how does that work? You always wonder, but it's like everybody's bodies are just so different and where it
Yep.
stores and
Mhm.
like, yeah. So I've never been like big on to focusing on the number on the scale and just how I feel.
Yeah, yeah, and how you
That's
feel,
the
how
big
you
thing.
look, and what you
Yep.
can do. Yeah,
Unless you have
amazing.
a goal weight in mind, fine. But at the end of the day, it's how you feel.
Absolutely. So, what's next for you, Em? Like, where do you think the next chapter of your journey will take you now that we've unlocked some happiness and started to make some gains?
I want to do the competition in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the costume. What
Yeah.
was it called?
I think it's the UFE, I think it's called, or
Mayhem?
something like that.
Mayhem?
Yeah, it's like a costume. It's like bodybuilding, but with costumes, right? It's
Yes.
like a,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So they do bodybuilding, but they do it in Halloween time. So then
hmm
you can go out in whatever costume. Like I'm gonna call it sexy costumes because that's what they
yeah,
are.
yeah. Of course, why not?
But like there was
Yeah.
one girl who dressed like Chucky, and she had her Chucky doll.
Oh my
It's so
god.
cool. Yeah.
So that's what's on our radar after RBT.
Yes.
We're gonna keep having fun, and we're gonna just
And
keep having
I'm
fun.
trying to encourage Brody for that one too.
I think
I'm like, let's do it.
we can get him on board. But it's just
Yeah.
nice to have, I think, like we've got always these milestones in the calendar that we can work towards,
Hmm.
and kind of just let you take center stage, like literally and figuratively, in a body that you're proud of, that you feel is healthy, that you're happy in, right? And just
Yeah.
continuing to put share that experience in different ways. And like,
Mhm.
the costume part is gonna be really fun. Like being proud of your body means you have an open selection of what costume you can choose. And I'm
Yeah.
really cool to see which one we land on. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool because my aunt, like she did Miss Canada one year for her dress and used to
No
do like
way.
ballet stuff. And I was like, and I want her to do it so that I have a part of my family in there, and I think
Oh,
it'll be a
that's
lot of fun.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So maybe we'll have you back on the pod, like right after that. We can talk about the costuming and how like that compares to your other show experience. So we got something to look forward to.
that would be fun.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today in this conversation, like, and just allowing me to be part of this chapter of your journey. It's been so much fun. I'm so excited to see where we go next, and just like watching you reclaim happiness, and like even just seeing on, when we do our check-ins, and you've got like confidence 10 out of 10 like every single day of the week, or energy 10 out of 10 every single day of the week. Like those have been amazing signs to see as you've reclaimed your happiness and had fun in the process. So it's been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, everybody. So if you have any questions or comments for Em on her journey, if you've got your favorite happiness foods that you also love, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. And without further ado, we'll be back in your feeds with another episode of Truth Talks next Monday. Bye for now.
Bye.